Hello my friends and welcome back to InformOverload, the channel that looks to keep the news fun and entertaining while also informing you about what's going on in our wonderful world. I'm your host Jared Bronstein, and today we're going to be talking about why the mainstream media hasn't been talking about what's happening in the Amazon rainforest. But before we jump into it, be sure to subscribe so you guys can stay up to date with the world's latest news. Follow the IO team on Instagram so you guys can see some fun behind the scenes stuff. And of course, stick around until the end of the video where I'll be replying to some of my favorite comments from a previous video we've done. So if you guys haven't seen our Amazon rainforest videos, be sure to check those out so you have a much better understanding of what's going on. But in a short summary, the Amazon rainforest has been burning for about 3 weeks now. It's not uncommon for this to happen, but the rate at which it's burning has become quite alarming. What's more, Brazil's president Jair Bolsonaro encouraged the fires in the first place by allowing farmers to burn their land to clear it for harvesting and farming. Although this is a normal practice, it's technically illegal, and now that the fires have gotten out of hand, it seems not only has President Bolsonaro discredited the statistics, but he doesn't seem too concerned about what's going on. When shown the data that there's been an 80% increase in fires in the country this year alone, not only did he dismiss it by saying it's just the time of year that the wildfires happen, but he was also quoted saying, "I used to be called Captain Chainsaw, now I am Nero," setting the Amazon aflame. Although Brazil's president doesn't seem too worried about it, people all over the world have been tweeting out information and statistics about the importance of preserving the Amazon rainforest. These statistics include that 20% of the Earth's oxygen comes from it, many different plants and venoms from snakes, which are only found in the Amazon, can be used medicinally, and that the Amazon rainforest is vital in slowing down climate change. Something that is real, and we need to slow down. Like now. But if this is really such a catastrophic event, why isn't there much mainstream media coverage? Well, since the hashtags Pray for Amazonia and Pray for the Amazon have started trending on Twitter, the likes of CNN, BBC, and USA Today picked up on the story. 3 weeks late, but why? Well, there's a few reasons, one of them being President Donald Trump. Hashtag time to get triggered. Now let me clarify something here before I go any further. I'm not attacking the president, nor do my political beliefs matter. I'm simply going to state why I think the media hasn't covered this story, and then give reasoning, supported by facts, to back what I'm about to say. So President Trump has stated in the past that he believes, I quote, "The concept of global warming was created by and for the Chinese in order to make US manufacturing non-competitive." He has, more recently, admitted he's skeptical about climate change, but doesn't seem completely sold on the idea. So what does this have to do with Brazil and the wildfires in the Amazon rainforest? Well, the Amazon rainforest is considered the world's lungs, providing it with 20% of its oxygen. It's also been reported by the World Wildlife Fund, or the WWF, that if the Amazon rainforest were to completely burn down, it would start emitting carbon instead of being a source of oxygen, which would just increase the rate at which climate change is happening. To tie it all together, many major news outlets such as Fox and the Wall Street Journal haven't covered the story at all, and as recent as just a couple days ago, the likes of CNN, Guardian, and BBC covered the story for the first time. And here's why. It doesn't fit with Trump's agenda. He's known to not care much for climate change, so why would a conservative pro-Trump outlet such as Fox News cover a story that Trump doesn't necessarily agree or have an issue with? Aside from this, Trump has been trying to strengthen the US's relationship with Brazil, so why would he want to call out Brazil's president? It would just be a bad look, especially for two conservatively run governments. But then wait, Jared, why haven't other news outlets covered it? I'm about to tell you. So why has it taken so long for the likes of CNN, BBC, and The Guardian to report on this story? Well, as sad as it is, I genuinely believe it's a matter of if it doesn't hit home, it's not of importance. What do I mean by that? Let's use the example of the California wildfires. Any news station you turned on was covering it. Celebrities were tweeting out that they had to evacuate their homes, and fundraisers were made to help the people of California. Of course, when something affects you directly, you're going to act immediately. But just because the fires are happening on the other side of the world doesn't mean it won't affect us in the long run. Truthfully, we should want to help those in need because that's human nature. But if that's not enough, the destruction of the Amazon rainforest, as previously mentioned, would just lead to climate change happening at an accelerated rate, something that we don't want to happen, because it's very bad for us and our entire planet and the human race. Now, I understand why US news outlets wouldn't cover local news in Brazil, but when it comes to a catastrophic event like the Amazon rainforest burning at the rate of an entire soccer field and a half every minute of every day, well, I think it should be covered. Unfortunately, we live in a country where what the Kardashians are doing and how much the best athlete in a league is getting paid is more important than real issues such as these fires. Another reason why it might not be getting much coverage is because this is a normal occurrence. There are wildfires every year, but they don't seem to spread as rapidly as they currently are. So maybe that's why some news outlets are now just starting to cover the story. They didn't realize it was going to be as big of an issue as it's turned into. But now that it's gotten to the point of an emergency, I think it's time for the world to come together, raise awareness, and do their part in helping those in need of help. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation in the comments down below. I'm already prepared to be attacked because of the Trump comments. I don't really see what I said that would offend someone, but I look forward to having a conversation with you guys in the comments down below, or just having people call me names and not conversing, which is fine too. But on a lighter note, let's respond to some comments from our updated video on the Amazon rainforest. Candace C said, "This breaks my heart, all these poor animals losing their homes, dying." It really is sad, and until you see the actual images, I don't want to put into words how I felt, guys. It's heartbreaking, it really is. Ruff said, "Imagine all the endangered species that have not been discovered yet just die." It's a possibility. I mean, the Amazon's absolutely massive, and I'm sure there are species that we don't even know exist yet that could very well go extinct before we even know they exist. Dylan Lack said, "I haven't really seen it on Australian news." I think it's Australian. Maybe Austria? No, that's Australia, I think. I could be wrong, but haven't seen it peep on local news. Again, it's unfortunate, but hopefully now that more and more people are bringing light to the situation, news outlets all over the world will start talking about it. All we could do is keep spreading the word. As always, guys, be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe so you guys never miss a video, follow the entire IO team on Instagram. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein, and we'll see you in the next one.